Start?
Yeah. At first, I disagree with the opinion of death penalty gonna save life and help the society can be more steady. Because I got this data that during the California averaged 6 execution a year from 1952 to 1967, and had twice the murder rate than the period from the 1968 until 1991 when there were no executions at all, which means that when we have execution, the murder rate higher than when it didn't have any execution. So, which means that having execution cannot drop the murder rate at all. And also, I noticed that you use the word think and try to. It doesn't mean which means that you guys are not sure that having death penalty gonna be make the society more steady for 100% sure.
Where did you get this study? Because I have a different study.
I get this study from.
I have a different study say that when the death penalty is executed, the crime rate decreases. You know.
Which part of the country?
The murder.
No. I mean, where's the location?
Location
whole
what?
United States.
Here in the United States.
Not only in California. So I think the data from the whole
And
United
even in
States
California, just like we have here studies, even in California, when you have a murder, this penalty, the crime rate decrease. You know, the murder crime rate decrease. You know, it's here. You know, that's fun. Yeah. Even Texas, you know, Texas had the highest one. You know, you see.
From which year to which year?
Many years. 2010. Yeah, you see? This is 2010, 2009, you know, many years.
But that's not, there's many ways to make the murder rate gonna decrease. It doesn't mean that death penalty is the only reason that to lead to this result, right? This is a fact, but you don't have the proof to, you have to have the evidence to prove that death penalty is the reason to drop the murder rate.
There should be no direct reasons, correlations between them.
And you have the relationship between sending man to prison, that means that the crime decrease. If you send a murder to a prison, that means that the crime will decrease. I don't think so. When people hear when people hear that a murderer went to death, there is a deterrent. They are afraid to do the same crime. But when they hear that he sends to prison, he's just like, you know, a small thief. You know, it's just like the man who did a minor crime, didn't do a bigger crime. They are the same. They went to jail. But this man took life, so he must be punished severely.
No, we are talking about the murder rate, drop the murder rate because of death penalty. We are not talking about the other reason.
We don't think that it is a coincidence for them to happen in the same period of time. As we said about years, you also show the years that the sharp drop of the murder rate happens between 1980s to 1999. In this period of time, the murder rate dropped sharply, and it is also in the same time that the death penalty worked well in the United States, and a lot of as Yasser said, a lot of United citizens support death penalty during this period of time, and we don't think that it is no reason for this to happen in the same period of time. So they can have a close relationship between those two things.
Actually, our team thinks that there are other ways, other penalties that can worse than death. Like what it says, life sentence is not enough. What you say is life sentence is not enough, but actually criminals, according to the journals, mentions the criminals will suffer the rest of their lives in the jail, and they will suffer more. The death penalty for them is just a kind of relief because they can just do not have to stay in a jail and to suffer for their rest of life, but they just give them a shot and they can just die For
But we think that it depends on different kinds of people. What about person who live in a poor life? I mean that if their original life is just under the poverty line, they cannot afford their own life. They cannot buy food. They have no job, cannot earn money, have no money to buy food and live in a normal life. They would think that, oh, it's better. It's a paradise for me to live in a jail because the government can pay for my food, for my drink.
Adding for her, people, yes, I agree with you, they will suffer in prison, but for the first period of time, maybe the first year, the second year. After that, they became, familiar with the prison, and they start to enjoy the prison, and even they became, they feel jail like paradise, they became kings, they find a pleasure to torture other people who is coming to jail, or things like this. So many people refuse to leave jail. After 15 or 20 years, they don't want to go to the other world because they feel they belong to inside. They have their life, they have their friends, they eat, they drink,
But also they suffer the guilty every single day because probably that's why the jail exists, because the jail exists, they want to change people. They want to change people from the bad person to good person. As you mentioned, they live in the jail for 50 and 60 years. They don't want to get out of jail because they cannot get used to the new life. This does not matter with the case we are talking about because that's the way the human being is. As for them, they probably suffer the guilty every single day. That's why we kept them in that way, and they can change. People can change after they rethink about their actions, and also the exist of those people. It's a reward. It's a warning of those people out of the jail. Like people can be changed. People. This is not the right thing to. This is not the right thing to do to kill person. Also, people. After those bad person changed, they can be a really good example for those people out there. They can illustrate that how I'm changed from the bad person to a good person. It can also to be a model for those people. And also, I noticed that you guys talking about the 1966, there's no execution. So that's why you guys think it's gonna lower the murder because there's no execution. But actually, if there's no execution at all, why we need death penalty then?
No, I think you got the wrong data. In 1966 is the year that the death penalty began to work in the United States, and in that year, the number of capital punishment is 56. And 5 years later, in 1965, the number dropped into 7.
I can answer your question also. Why do we need this penalty if there is no execute? Okay, we need it as a deterrent. We don't want to kill people. We want to prevent them of killing other people. This penalty is there not for killing people. It's just to prevent people for taking other lives. Deterrent. This is the justice. And this is because it's a major crime, killing people. If you kill people, you will be killed. So the means behind this, don't kill people. That's what we want. If there is no any murder, we are so happy. That's what we want, by this penalty. But if they kill people and went to jail, this is another life for them and as a reward for killing people.
But actually, we think that the cases that you mentioned, the wife murdered her husband and be released from the jail, and after 2 years she married another people and killed them again. But I think that this is the constitution issue because for the murderer, there's no parole for the murderer. If there's no any conditionals for them to leave the jail, they have to stay in the jail for the rest of their lives. So they do. This threat will not threat the society. And also, there's a case that I want to talk about. There's a husband also sentenced that killed his wife and sentenced a life penalty. But for 25 years, he stayed in a jail for 25 years. And after 25 years, the DNA systems created, and they know that the the case will be judged again, and they notice that the husband is innocent. So you can imagine that if the husband already be sentenced death penalty, so how can he wait until 25 years? So if there's a life sentence, he can still have a chance to prove that he's innocent. So our team thinks that our purpose is not to kill the innocent people, because there are a lot of cases like what I just mentioned. There are over 1,200 people executed since 1976 may have been innocent. So you can imagine that so many people could be innocent and be killed by the death penalty.
Yes, it's a
10
good
minutes.
point. Okay, it's a good point. I agree with you, there's some innocent people, but they are, it's a percentage of the total. Their percentage is only 0.33 of errors. It's just like, a mistake. We hear every day that some people died in a car accident. No one feels sympathy for them because it's probably people die in car accident. And you say the solution in your words that we can use DNA. The person in jail didn't prove his innocence. The society proved it by DNA. Now DNA can tell us, they know how Napoleon many years ago died. They can say how he died and who killed him. Even in my country, they know that Tutankhamun 7,000 years ago died, and they can now tell how he died and who killed him. So we can use it right now, and there will be no innocent people in jail. And also, execution takes, as you said, a long time and a lot of money. Trial, court, appeal, and then the Supreme Court. So many times or many periods to prove that this man deserves this penalty or not. So now there's no chance for mistakes because we have DNA, we have more developed technology to prove that this man is 100% the killer and he deserves this penalty.
And also we think that everything has its two sides, which means that everything has its advantages and disadvantages. As Yasser said just now, the innocent case is just a small part of what the death penalty costs for us.
So
and we cannot ignore the advantages the death penalty brings us.
So you are saying that it's just a mistake to take innocent people's life, so we can still need
Only a
because
small portion of people doesn't mean that they are people, they are lives.
And we can try our best to avoid these innocent cases just by the technology is developing and the laws are revising. If we can have perfect advantage, we can have the perfect technology and more revised laws, we can prevent this cases to be happening.
when we clearly have another solution like the life sentence without parole, we can keep the society safe. At the same time, we don't need to have the chance to take life from the innocent people. Why we need death penalty then? And also I mentioned that the penalty costs more than life sentences. So when we can save the money at the same time and we don't need to take the innocent people's life, we can have that solution when we need death penalty to have the chance to take the innocent people's life. And we still need to cost more money from the taxpayers, from the society.
So the cost is at the matter of cost. Which is better? To pay money for building jails for killers and thieves and murderers, or to pay money for justice, for court, for jury, for the court appeals. This money is going for justice, and this money is going for the prosperity of killers and murderers.
And as you mentioned, this for thieves. For thieves is not murderer.
Building jail, we spend money in jail. So who is going to jail? The murderers, thieves, the bad people.
But the money is still gonna expand for jail. That's what you are. So you are saying that the jail doesn't need to exist. Just kill them all, and we can save those money for the justice. I don't think.
No, I didn't say that. I say that when we build jails, it's better to pay money for justice. If justice need money, it's okay, give it, because I provide you justice. I make you feel you are protected by society. But building jails, this is for bad people. Okay, go send to jail the thieves or the people who did minor crimes, but don't send killers, because in jail they still killers and they still dangerous for the society. I remember, you know, Sylvester Stallone. He went to jail to film. He has a film. It's named Lock Up, and he went to jail to make a movie. And he asked the jail's administrator to be with the killers. He want to be it real. You know, they attacked him, and they touched him. And one of them said, "You are when you getting out from jail, you will be Mrs. Stallone, not Mr. Stallone." This is the people inside the jail. They never change. They are still very dangerous to society, you know?
Yeah, so that's why we keep the life sentences without parole at the jail. And if they're really dangerous, there's a system in the jail. If they and dangerous people, they're gonna keep them in the single cell, and they don't have the chance to hurt other people. And also, there's a chance for other kind of criminals, like just not murderer, they still can do awful things in jail too. So it doesn't mean that a murderer in the jail gonna do more bad things than the other criminals.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
So why don't we?
Go 4 minutes.
You have 4 minutes, yeah?
Okay.
We still have 4 minutes, yeah.
You can stop if you want, but
Yeah.
You want to start?
We also think that we cannot avoid the cases that the murderers always trying to escape from the prison. And as you just said that if you are right that the murderer will feel very guilty when they are in a jail, why I think they will always try to escape from there, because their life there will be very tough, just as you said. But if they escape from jail, the government need to pay much more money to get them back, and they cannot avoid the cases that this kind of people, if they back into the society, they will kill other people and cause more dangers.
All the statements that you just mentioned is about if. So if they escape, if they blah blah blah. But actually, the jail is already have a serious security for prison all of the criminals.
How do you know it's the security? The security is trustworthy.
So, but how do you know that it is not good enough? So you can, like, is there a lot of criminals that escape from the jail in the society right now?
Yeah, there
In
are
my
lots of
country,
cases.
in my country.
But we are talking about in the
Yeah,
US.
but I'm giving you an example. You know, the example in my country
Yeah,
could
but
be an
we're
example in
different.
here.
But in different country will have different situations.
But I think we heard about many people try to escape from jail in America and they succeeded. You know, killers, something
And
like
also,
that.
if they feel guilty and have a tough life in the prison, I think everyone will try to escape from the jail.
Yeah, everyone will try to escape the jail. That's why we need to increase our security to prevent those kind of things happen. So we are talking about, we assume that we have the life sentence and we can keep those murder in the jail for the whole life, and at the same time we can get more security for the jail. We can prevent those things happen. That's we assume that in that case we should ban the death penalty. If we ban the death penalty, we're gonna do those things to prevent those bad things happen, as you mentioned.
I think they are under the same situation. If we can assume that you can make the prison perfect, then no one can escape from the prison.
So you're gonna agree with ban the
No.
death
Okay,
I
penalty?
mean
simple
that-
question. Simple question for you.
Yeah.
Haven't you heard any time about a crime and you say it immediately as a reaction to this crime, this man deserves to go to this penalty? Haven't you heard about a terrible crime, a dangerous crime, and you say this man deserves to go to death?
That's the first thought, but after that, we should think about it like more. If we think about it second time, we should think about there's a chance that we could kill the innocent people, and probably we all know the symptoms case, like if we have to. There's always a chance to fake the evidence. There are probably another people to kill this one, not the real one got the death penalty. So we're gonna think about it like we need to have the right way to keep the society more safe, safer.
Right.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
right. That's what we
Yeah.
are trying to do with this penalty, because we focus on the people who were killed. You know, sometimes in your opinion, you focus on the people who may be innocent, but we focus on justice. We focus on people who were killed, lost their life, and they want the society to take their right and to protect other people of dying the same way.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
time. Thank you.
Thank you.